Guys, it has been 3 years since I last ranked the MCU. And if you want to check out how our rankings went then, you can check out my video here. But for today, I am going to do a revamped version of the MCU tier list. We are going to start with just Phase 1 for today. And then in later videos, I'm going to do Phase 2, Phase 3, so on and so forth, and then they will be all compiled into one master list. But I wanted to break it down, give me more time to talk about each movie, especially because now that we have like 40 movies and shows and whatnot, it would be quite a long video to do the entire MCU. If that's something that interests you guys, if you guys want to see one long, concise video, then I'm willing to do it. But until then, I'm going to break it down by phases. And starting us off is Phase 1. I am going to rank these by the letter, worst to best, in my opinion. And then also kind of in between the letters, I'm going to rank them. Like, the ones on the left are going to be better than the ones on the right. This is just my opinion. If you disagree, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to talk about Marvel and DC and, Harry Potter, Star Wars, all the nerd stuff. So if you want to leave a comment about anything, letting me know either a future list you'd like to see or, hey, I think this movie should have been higher or lower, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And then with that being said, let's jump right into what I believe is the worst movie of Phase 1. It's gonna go to Iron Man 2. And I'm gonna put Iron Man 2 in C. So C is like kind of it's middle ground for me. I don't think this is the worst movie in the MCU by far. But it's not a great movie. It's fine. There are things in it that I think could have been really good. I like the idea of kind of the government wanting to own Tony Stark's Iron Man suit, It's a very logical thing that they would want, and I do like kind of, obviously, Robert Downey Jr. in this role is phenomenal, so no matter what movie it is, he does an amazing job. So I do like that a lot. I just feel like the biggest thing that brings this movie down is the amount of plots they've tried to shove into this. You have the government wants to take Iron Man's suit. You have Iron Man dealing with he's dying. His chest is killing him. So he's trying to work on a new element. You have Justin Hammer is jealous and is trying to take over Tony Stark's business. You have Ivan Vanko, who becomes Whiplash, and he has his own thing going on. You have Nick Fury and Black Widow trying to look at Tony and recruit him for the Avengers. It's an Avengers precursor movie. You have Rhodey, working on being the War Machine. Like, he transitions into War Machine in this movie. There's just so much in this movie. I feel like they overstuffed it. And then you get to, like, the final fight, and it's cool and all. I love seeing Iron Man and War Machine fight together, but you get to, like, when Whiplash actually shows up, and he's taken out in, like, 10 seconds. In addition to that, Iron Man doesn't even know that there's any threat going on until he shows up to try to kill him at a race, which he takes care of him, puts him away, and then is completely oblivious to any threat. Again, there's no sense of urgency until the end of the movie. So, I don't think it's a bad movie. There's a lot in here I do like. I love the Black Widow hallway scene. I love how they really showed off Natasha's acrobatic and combat skills. And I thought it was funny that Happy got one. And then, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. is just a great character. I feel like they tried to do too much with this. And I would have liked to see more of Justin Hammer. I actually liked him as a villain. I just we don't, you know. This is his only movie, and that's all we get. I know he's in like a little short later, but not worried about that. Next up, I'm gonna go with Thor, and I also think it's in C. I want to put it ahead of Iron Man 2 because I enjoy Thor slightly more than Iron Man 2. But again, it's got a lot of flaws. Obviously, I love Tom Hiddleston as Loki. He does a phenomenal job. I think Idris Elba as Heimdall and Chris Hemsworth. I don't think he fully found his Thor just yet, but I still think he did a good job in this movie. I love the way Kenneth Branagh made Asgard look and how like majestic and grand everything was. But then you get to Earth and it's Thor's a fish out of water as he gets hit with a car a couple times, and he does. That's it. Like there's no danger to him until the end. He doesn't even know Loki's doing anything until the destroyer shows up to kill him. So it's a harmless movie. I don't think there's anything like inherently awful about it, but there's nothing that gets me super excited every time I watch it. Like the best part about it is Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Other than that, it's just a movie in the MCU. It started Thor's journey and it did what it had to do, I guess, but it wasn't anything memorable to me. Now we're going to move on to the B tier, where I'm going to put The Incredible Hulk. Now, a lot of people hate on The Incredible Hulk. I don't mind The Incredible Hulk. I actually prefer this version of Hulk over Mark Ruffalo's version. I don't think Mark Ruffalo does anything bad. I'm not a big fan of how tame they made the Hulk in later movies. I like Hulk being the big green rage monster like he's supposed to be, and this is the movie for that. This is the best time that you see Hulk really go all out. The only other time I can really think of is like in Age of Ultron when he fights Iron Man, but that's about it. So I really like getting to see Hulk be fully Hulk. I also enjoy the fight at the end, Hulk and Abomination. You know, it's what else are you gonna do with a big monster? You have a big monster fight, you know, at the end, and I think it worked out really well, and they did a good job. I do like General Ross. I think he's a great character. Um, Obviously, he's very misguided, but I think as a character, he's played very well. And yeah, I've always just kind of enjoyed this movie. It does feel different than the rest of the MCU because this was made by Paramount, I believe, so it was different than anything else. But I don't mind it. I think that having that difference makes it stand out a bit more. It stands out more than Thor, anyways, in my mind. Now we're getting to these three movies are all ones that I would easily watch on just about any day. I'm gonna go with Captain America: The First Avenger in A tier. I am a big history buff, so I'm a sucker for World War II movies, and obviously Captain America: The First Avenger takes place in World War II. I think Chris Evans was just the perfect casting choice for Captain America. He does it so well. Sebastian Stan does a great Bucky, and then obviously you have um, Peggy Carter, you got Red Skull, you have the General. I can't remember his name, but you got quite a few people that are all very well rounded in this movie. Also, this is probably my favorite, like, just pure origin story for any of the heroes. Is just Cap's origin right here. Is I feel like the first like hour of the movie, I love that origin for him. It's just so perfect. I don't know if there's another hero on this list that I prefer their origin, so to speak. I know Iron Man's coming up, and we'll talk about that then. But I just like Cap's pure like good-hearted nature. He wants to do what's right, and then no matter he doesn't like a bully, and I love that about him. It works so well. So he's definitely getting my third pick for phase one. I do think the movie falters here and there. I think you get to the later half of the movie, and I liked kind of the realism of World War II, and then you get to crazy MCU sci-fi battle in the air in a big plane. It's like okay, and I think the fight between Captain America and Red Skull, the final one, wasn't that interesting. It was fine, but I just feel like Red Skull's such an interesting character. They could have done so much more with him, and they really didn't. So it does have its faults, but it's still one of my favorite MCU movies. Our last two, we're going with Iron Man in S tier. It is the movie that started the MCU. It's the one that kicked us off. Obviously, as I stated before, I love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He is by far the best casting choice the MCU has ever done. And add that in with, you get Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts. You have Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane. Like, they did an amazing job with this movie. And I love knowing that this movie, a lot of it was just on the spot improv. They didn't even have the script finalized when they were shooting this movie. So a lot of the lines were just improvised, including Iron Man's big one at the end, I am Iron Man. That was improvised. Bob Downey Jr. just made that up, and they went with it. And it came all the way back in Endgame. But I talked about how I prefer Cap's origin, like the first hour. I still really enjoy Iron Man's origin, don't get me wrong. I think it's really awesome just how he kind of realizes the damage he has done on the world and works to fix it. Different from Captain America, though, is I think Ironmonger is a much better villain than Red Skull, purely just because of his personal connection with Iron Man, and how he's the first. Like, he's the first one that he's the hero's powers as a villain. He's the first one that did it, so he can get away with it because you get down the line to like Ant-Man and you have Yellow Jacket. It's like, okay, this is now the seventh or eighth character that's had the same exact powers as the hero, just evil now. But it worked really well with him. I also really like seeing like just the action in this movie was just incredible for its time. And yeah, I love this movie. It's the movie that started it all. And it doesn't have the weight of the MCU on it like later MCU movies. It's not trying to be the biggest thing out there. And it works. It does its job perfectly. But man, oh man, if you were there in 2012 and saw the Avengers in theaters, it was an experience. Like, it is hands down my favorite pick for the Phase 1 movies, just because nobody thought it could be done. Nobody thought you could take all these different characters from all these different movies and put them together and make a blockbuster hit. And somehow, Joss Whedon cracked the code, and they got it. Now, I have a couple issues with the movie. I think they handled Hawkeye poorly. I understand he's brainwashed for most of the movie and yada yada yada. I just felt like Hawkeye kind of got shit on in the movie. I also feel like they could have maybe made the Chitauri a bit more appealing to, like, a bit more appealing of enemies instead of just like this random army that's just here. It's like, okay, we have no connection to them. They're just cannon fodder. But beyond that, I love seeing the dynamics between all the characters, especially Iron Man and Captain America, of course. But like even getting like Iron Man and Hulk or Bruce Banner like talking science together. You have Black Widow interacting with Cap and Bruce Banner. Like, I just love the interactions between each character and how all of them feel like themselves, and yet they're all put together so perfectly. That's hands down my number one pick for the Phase 1 movies. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. If you have a different Phase 1 movie that's ahead, or maybe you would shuffle it around a little bit. Again, my list is just my list. It's just an opinion. So if you agree with it, that's awesome. If you disagree, that's also awesome. Let me know what you think down below. And until next time, guys, I will see you later. Goodbye.